Hey guys, today we're going to go over the InfiRay C200 thermal imager. This guy is awesome not only for its accuracy in its pictures that it's going to give us and something that we're going to use going forward in a lot of our videos, but it's also something that you can use, take pictures, video, export it to their own software where you can correct emissivity errors that you might have had in the field. You can also take all kinds of image calculations. You can do a million things with their software. This is an awesome unit, and I'm going to show you where you can get it at a very good price. We're going to go through this guy as close as we can top to bottom. Stick with us. So I picked this guy up because I have an exhaust leak on our 6.2 liter Ford plow truck. The exhaust manifolds on that are known to crack, and I wanted to see if it was either going to be in the exhaust manifolds or actually in a connection of a pipe down the way. Couldn't really hear it because it's all stuffed up in there, and this actually allowed me to find it. Now, showing you guys how I found it was a little bit more difficult because I had this truck on the floor, and trying not to get burned and get a good picture of what was happening was quite difficult. But the accuracy of this and its ability to pick out this little hole that was leaking was absolutely amazing. The better portion of this, I guess, is the pictures that I get. Sometimes when you're using a thermal imager, all you see is the different colors of what's behind you. So you really can't judge exactly where you are unless you know somewhat of what the heat scale is, or the heat will allow you to see what is going on around it. Now this has kind of a crossover version where it will overlay the picture and it'll put the thermal image there so you can see both. And it allows you to see exactly where you're at, what's happening, especially if you're working with really hot areas in some cooler areas, which really make this great. And we're gonna use that on some tools in a little bit, and I'll show you how we can actually let you guys see a little bit more while we're using a thermal imager on tools to see what's getting hot and what isn't in our reviews. Some quick specs on this. The IR sensor is 256 by 192. The emissivity is adjustable from 0.1 to 1. And there's a million things you can do inside here by setting a lot of things up. Let's come in and take a look at some of the things that are going on here while we're looking at a tool, and we can kind of go back and forth as to what's happening and what you see. So with a typical thermal imager, you guys would be looking at this and saying, okay, I can see it's a DeWalt, but what is it? And it takes a little bit for us to really see what's happening here. And this is where these image modes really come in. If I want to come over and use the thermal fusion mode, I can see exactly what's going on in the cool spots, but yet it's tracking the hot spot. You can see with this red, it's tracking the cool spot, and then I can get the temperature still with the center point. Now you're just starting to see the heat from the thermal imager in this little yellow spot come out. And you can see the heat's going to roll over it. We'll be able to come back to that a little bit more, but if we want to do a picture-in-picture where it's a thermal image inside, but yet you can still see where we're at on the outside, that is very helpful. So you can see what's happening around you, but still say, oh, look, there's some heat happening right there. Or we can go to just a digital camera mode where it's still telling us where the hot spots are, or an alignment distance. So the thermal imager is still very cool and it works out well. I'm going to go over to this thermal fusion, although with this tool it doesn't show as much of it. You can see that it's kind of ghosted around here, and if I move it quickly, it will move the thermal imaging portion slightly slower. Go back. We can do many different color palettes. This white color palette seems to refresh the fastest, but the black hot works also. I'm had it on iron and use it on iron mostly. It just seems to be, iron is what most people are used to, and according to what I see on everything, that's just what I'm used to. Here's where you can set up your emissivity, ambient temperature, distance, all this fun jazz, your temperature units. It has high and low alerts, and then you can adjust your temperature scale here depending on what you're going to be looking at. and you can set date and time, language, auto brightness, auto power off, and then there's a ton of different settings inside here for what you're going to do with the USB, if you're going to be streaming video or if you want it to be the camera. Lots of good stuff happening here, but as we're starting to get a little bit warmer, we can use this. If we turn this guy, it'll show us a little bit more. We can use this to see what's happening a little bit. And to me, this portion allows us to check out a battery, see what's happening, and still give you guys a good view of what's going on. And it just seems to make a lot more sense. And this picture here is something that I just really enjoy while I'm using this, because it allows me to see what's happening. And it's also easy if I wanted to just come over and change myself to either this picture-in-picture, so you get a little bit more of an idea of where we're at. It still gives us the perfect settings no matter what we're doing. As far as the tool itself, you have a trigger on the front to take a picture or video. This is all rubber overmold here. On top you have a place for your SD card, which it does come with a 16 gig Toshiba SD card. You have your USB charger up there also. On the bottom you have a tripod mount. It's really nice. If you're in a dark area, you can turn on your LED lights, and that works really well if you are doing something with this picture or taking a picture. You're using the combination picture or thermal imager. The screen is absolutely excellent, although you see a little bit of that shine from the lights here on the camera. That does not really show up in person, so everything here that we're looking at is super clear, easy to use, and all these little buttons are simple and they have a small click to them, a very positive feel. This guy is made in China, and I actually learned about this from opticsplanet.com, and I was on there, you know, just scrolling through some scopes and different things, and I found this guy and I thought, you know, I like the way that some of the images turn out, and I can see how this would be very useful in a lot of our videos. And then I started doing more searching, and I'll leave you a link down below where you can get it at half of Optics Planet price, which makes this one of the more affordable but probably better as far as performing units that I've seen that's out there. It is rated to take a 1 meter drop. It's IP56 rated. You can dunk it in water, although I don't think you should treat this stuff like that. This is more of a precision instrument to me, but there's so many options and so many different things on this that you can go through and do, including that software package. So if you're actually in the business of using this and you want to make some money and want to show people what's happening, or want to just go through and have some very accurate stuff, that software that they have for this can correct all the errors that you might have come across or not done correctly in the field, adjust some things up. You can take color temperatures off of multiple different points. You can change through any of the views that this has. There's so many things you can do in there. It's absolutely maddening and way over my head, but you can do some pretty cool stuff, and we're gonna work on getting better on that so we can actually take video and show you guys the video and just see what's happening while we're actually using the tools, which is going to be something we couldn't do in the past. So awesome little unit. If you're in the market for something that is very affordable like this, this is definitely something that I feel is worth checking out since I dove in and picked it up. Other than that, that does have a 4-hour runtime on the internal battery. Like I said, USB-C rechargeable. Pretty nice unit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, we appreciate your time. Please give us a like in this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.